everyone. Today we are going to make a Fancy Nancy cake, so let's get right into it. We're starting with a 5-inch chocolate heart shape. And this I just baked in my heart-shaped pan. So to stick it to the cake board, I have an 8-inch cake board right here. I'm just gonna put some frosting on the bottom and put it on top. This client didn't want any filling other than just like buttercream, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna put some frosting up on top here as the middle of the cake. Make sure it's a nice even layer by spinning my turntable. And then I'm gonna put my top layer on top. Then I'm gonna take this guy and go around the middle where we have all that frosting sticking out. Coat the sides of the cake to keep all the crumbs in. So I started with frozen cake, and that helps it so there are less crumbs while I'm coating it. It's a huge lifesaver. I definitely recommend. Because the cake is frozen, as I frost it, the frosting will harden. And so you kind of want to do this part kind of quickly, but it's also a good thing because it will help you get a smooth finish, the difference in temperature. And I've got my frosting pretty soft and smooth. In order to do this, I would suggest warming your frosting a little bit so it's about the same consistency that I have mine here. And then I'm just turning my turntable. I'm keeping my offset spatula in the exact same place while I turn it, and I'm moving the turntable, not my spatula. I thought this cake order was such a fun order. Hot pink is always a really fun base color. And I actually never personally read Fancy Nancy. I know what like the cover of the book looks like, but I've never read it, so you guys will have to tell me which book is the best. I want to make sure I don't see any cake. And now I'm gonna go in with my scraper and I'm gonna start smoothing. And each time I smooth, I'm gonna scrape so I have a nice clean edge. And I like to get level with my cake so that I can see that I'm holding my scraper straight vertically. When I first started decorating cakes, this was the most stressful part for me because I just did not feel confident in getting smooth. I would spend hours and hours trying to get things smooth before I learned all the tips and tricks that make it so you can get it pretty quickly smooth. So if that's you, make sure you do the steps that I've suggested in this video because it'll save you a lot of heartache and stress. And it's funny how just in life, sometimes the things that feel tedious are the things that save you time. And that's definitely true for this. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Now for this top edge, I have a little bit of my frosting peeking up, if you can see around the edge. And so to fix that, I am gonna have shells all the way around this top border. And so I'm not like super worried about the edge, except for I don't want it to be too raised. And so for that, I'm just going to take my spatula and just scrape it in a little bit. Not too far though, because I don't want it, I just want it where the shells are gonna cover it. Okay, so that is my base layer. I'm so glad we did it. Okay, and I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and we're gonna do the piping afterwards. So let's do it.
A few moments later.
We're back. I got my cake out of the fridge. It was in there for about 10 minutes and now it's nice and hard and perfect for piping. So the first thing I would suggest doing when decorating a cake for someone is to pipe the message that it's gonna be on top first before you add all the piping. So you make sure there's enough space. When you're piping words, you're not allowed to breathe because then you might move it. Just kidding, please breathe. 22. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we are gonna mark where we put our swags or drop lines or whatever this shape is. And again, this top edge is gonna be covered, so I don't mind really the marks of the toothpicks. To make sure they're nice evenly spaced, I'm gonna take a new color. This is orange, and the tip I'm using is number 103. And I'm gonna make sure that this skinny part, the sharp edge, is to the bottom. All right. Got nice little ruffle swags. Next, we are gonna do a purple small teeny star tip 4F. So it's just got a really thin star. And these are kind of like thicker drop lines. And with drop lines, it works best to kind of squeeze out some frosting, touching the cake, and then just squeeze the rest of it, not touching the cake, and then to press it back onto the cake. That makes it so you don't have to keep your hand super steady while you're squeezing it, and it still makes a nice smooth line. And we're on our last one, yay! There we go. Okay, we're gonna do another form of drop lines, and these ones are gonna be the classic drop lines. And so I'm gonna use a number 2 round tip, and this is the tip that I recommend for drop lines. And for these, we're actually going to literally layer them on top of our orange ruffle. Okay, I think that is a cause for celebration. None of those broke. It's literally a miracle. I'm gonna take all my little toothpicks off. I don't need them anymore because I got my little swags. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're gonna use a 6R tip. It's a large round tip, and we're gonna make beautiful bows. Okay, I just realized this piping tip is way too big for this, so I need to switch it out. And toothpicks are super great in fixing mistakes. Okay, whenever I make a mistake like that, I like to take my old bag and I'll just like cut the tip off so that I have a nice full bag. And then I put the tip I want in a new bag, cut off the top. And I'm just gonna place that guy in there. And we're back in business. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. Those are cute now. Great, we got our cute bows on, and now let's pivot back to our orange ruffle. And I showed you guys this one earlier. It's the 103. And I'm gonna make a ruffle around the top edge, and then I'm gonna make a ruffle around the bottom edge. I'm gonna make it kind of come off of the edge. So it's a nice border. And again, we're gonna have the pointy edge out, away from the cake. Okay. Next, I'm gonna do my large shells with the biggest piping bag and my 6B tip. Let's get into it. I'm gonna do it around the bottom. After you put the big shells on, it feels like it's like all coming together, which is really fun. Because this is a Fancy Nancy cake, we're gonna add some more fun little touches to make it a little bit more eclectic, more busy. So I'm gonna add some more little drop lines just on the shells. That's why I made them larger shells than usual, just so that I can add these cute little drop lines. This is actually so fun. At each of these little meeting points, I'm just gonna put a little orange dot because it seems fun. And these orange dots are done with the 4R. I think that's really cute. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing around the bottom border. Again with the orange dots. Trying to decide if I should add any more. Again, my client said the more eclectic, the better. Where normally I think I would stop here, I do wonder if I should add more something. Okay, I'm gonna do a border on the inside. So this one is a number 16. So this one has longer spikes and the other one has teeny little short spikes. They're about the same length around. All right. All right, to finish her off, I think we're gonna add some little polka dots in this empty space up here to make it nice and busy and fun. Okay, a big mess on this plate later. We've made a pink, orange, and purple Fancy Nancy cake. If you guys want to see more cake videos like this, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you want to see decorated, and we can do it together. Thank you guys. Bye.